Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is CreamyBee, and today I'm going to do a foundation routine on how I do my foundation on myself. So if you want to see how I get this face beat, stick around and check it out. And welcome back to my channel, and thanks for sticking around. And yeah, this is going to be a foundation tutorial on how I do foundation on myself. And just to show you a few of the products that I use. Right now, as you can see, my eyebrows are finished, so you can see how I get that done on my last video that I did. And that will be listed in the description box below. Now, to start off, what I do is I go ahead and I get my face nice and clean. What I use to clean my face is I use the Old Standby, the Noxzema. I go ahead and use that to clean my face. As a moisturizer, and I do have oily skin, but then you kind of don't want to fool your skin into thinking that it's dried out, so to speak, so it keeps producing the oil. So you want to keep some kind of moisture so it limits the producing of the oils. So what I use is my oil of Olay, and this is the age defying cream, and this is one of my favorites, and I'm at the bottom when it comes to this. So yeah, this is what I use. Then after I do that, I go ahead and I prime with this, and today we're going to use this as my primer since I'm not going to be doing any big time picture taking, and I'm not really going anywhere. I'm just doing the tutorial. We're going to use this, and this is an excellent primer. The Stay Matte primer is really a good primer. I recommend this to anyone to go ahead and go out and get this. And also I use Airspun to set, as well as I use my Studio Fix MAC in NW50 as my powder. And I use also my MAC foundation in NC50 for my foundation. And I do color correct because, as you can see, I do have black discoloration all over, and that's gonna be the weird part that you guys are gonna see, because you guys are gonna see it and say, my God, isn't that too much? But it works for me, and that's what I do. So we're gonna go ahead and get this popping. Oh, and what I do use for my color corrector, I use the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the orange is what I use. So let's go ahead and get this. Okay, so to start everything off, what I do is I go ahead and get some on this, and I go ahead and get these spots color correct. I get around my mouth. And the reason why I have these spots is because of illness that I had, and I'm still trying to recover from, because I have many illnesses. I have a blood disorder which prohibits me from flying. I have COPD, and if you was to listen to me without the background music, I sound like a sea turtle trying to get for air. So that's why in a lot of my videos I don't do talkovers, because of my condition. So we go ahead and we get these little places corrected. I go ahead and I get my sponge and I color correct. And I go ahead, let me pull this in a little bit so you guys can see. I mean, this stuff is amazing. And I'm not going to do anything with my with the eyeshadow or anything. That's going to be in a separate tutorial. Right now I'm just gonna show you guys how I do my foundation. It's pretty quick and simple, so this video shouldn't be too long. So go ahead and I go in and I color correct all of it. And you see the difference already when I go in there and I color correct. Now, it's the same thing like I said with my eyebrow tutorial. You do makeup to suit you and what you feel comfortable with. Now, you do different techniques when you're working on somebody else. Like with that eyebrow tutorial, that's how I do it on me. Same thing with this foundation. I would do foundation different on a client that I would be working with as opposed to how I'm doing it now. I would, go through the regular guidelines and standbys and customs and so forth. But for me, this is comfortable. And this is how I like to do it and get it done. So yeah, you can see the difference, huh? You don't see that those areas anymore. Now most people and most of the gurus that I see, they use a damp sponge. I've never used a damp sponge. I never see the reason to use a damp sponge, so I just never did it. And that's one of the things that I've always said when it comes to makeup. It's all how you do it and what you find easier for you to do. So and I just realized I forgot to put on my primer. Damn. Now, we're just going to do this a little differently. We still got some orange product on here. So we're kind of going to go ahead and get that primer in there with it. So I'm still primed. Because what I did, I went ahead and I put the primer on the sponge. After I just said I don't wet my sponge, but I realized I didn't put the primer on there, so I had to put a little bit on here, and I'm just gonna go over it with it. And believe it, it works. It works. I've done it before, so it works. But see, you don't see that spot no more on there. So I just put a little bit on there. that much because I don't want to kill the color corrector that I have on there. Okay. And if you need to add a little bit more, then by all means you add a little bit more to it. Who's going to tell you you're wrong? Okay. So once I've done my color correcting, and this little spot here, because there's nothing that looks more horrid when you have them black spots coming through, honey. It looked like you was paintball fighting. Okay. So now that we look like the Great Pumpkin, but we're color corrected, I go ahead and I get my foundation and I take it, a few squirts, and another strange thing that I do, I don't use a brush. It's really rare that I use a brush. Only on a client I'll use a brush or a sponge. Depends on what's closest and what I'll gravitate to quicker, or how fast I need it done. But I'll gravitate a sponge, and excuse my sponge because it's a mess. So I'll put that much product on, and I'll dip, and I'll stamp on. Get under the eyes. And you see how you don't see any of that discoloration? Get in the crevice of the nose, get up under the nose there. Get up under the neck. Again, under the eyes. I do it this way because I want to make sure that I get everything, that the makeup is set in. I don't like the streaks that you sometimes get with the brushes. That doesn't annoy the hell out of me sometimes. And mind you, I love my brushes now. Don't get me wrong, I love my brushes. But I also love just stamping this in to get this all done. Okay. And as you see nothing. Pull it up closer so you can see. And I love doing it this way. I've always done my makeup this way since I started doing makeup. I love the flawlessness of it. Now, once I've went ahead, applied my foundation and so forth, what I then do is I go in with my Airspun, and it comes with a powder puff. And what I do, I dip it in there, shake off excess, and I set. Now when I set, I do press hard. Dip, tap off the excess. Now, where I got the idea of using this Airspun is from Patrick Starr. His makeup is always on point. I mean, his makeup is gorgeous. And he uses Airspun. So I said, okay, I'm going to try that because I like the way that you look here. This is the translucent. This has no color in it. There's no color. And it's pretty nice powder. Now, you say, oh my God, she looks so white, she looks like a ghost. That's okay. Because what I do is after I'm done, I go in, and this is where brush is coming for me. I go ahead, let that marinate a little bit, like you would do your highlights. And I get my powder brush, and this is from that set that I did a review on, the Avani set, and I dust off the excess. Okay. Now, to put color back into my face, I reach for my MAC. Oops. I reach for the MAC. And swirl it around in there. Get some on my brush. And I go in circular motions. Now, this is if I just, like I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going into it to show my routine when I do it, and this puts color back into my face, as you can see. And when you do it in circular motions, it'll give you that airbrush finish. So it's not that pitchy patchy look. It'll just give you that flawless airbrush finish. So we all know that we do those filters, but this will cut you down in using the filters on your pictures. So you got that airbrush finish. Get the ear, get under the chin, make everything even. Now, once we've done all that, and as you can see, it was quick and easy. You don't see any of the discoloration that I had earlier. I go ahead and then I set it with my setting spray. The setting spray that I use is from Ben Nye, and it is known as Ben Nye Setting Spray. The fluid looks like this. It does come in bottles this size. I'll put a link, and as y'all know, I get my stuff from eBay. So yes, this is sold on eBay. It's not cheap, but it is worth it. It is so worth it. So when I'm finished with everything, I go ahead and I make my spray. Now, when I tell you that that sets your stuff, and that's why I do my eyebrows the way I do it, because it holds the product. It won't go nowhere. None of this is going anywhere. So, trust me. It's quick, it's easy, and it's done. So, this was my foundation routine. This is how I do my foundation. And if you have any questions or any suggestions on how you think I could better doing it, or if you would like to say or tell me how you do your foundation, just go ahead and make those notations on the bottom. Thumbs up, like, share, and if you're new to my channel, welcome and subscribe. And thank you for helping me reach that 300 plus mark. I'm thinking of what I could do for you guys as an appreciation, so bear with me. And again, I'm so appreciative of you guys. I never thought I'd even get as far as I do at this point. So thank you so much. So again, this is Carol CreamyBee, and I thank you for stopping by. And you guys stay blessed. Bye.